Yeah, I think like yeah, I'm sorry. Just count on real low. That's not a real low.
I was over here. I fell into the cash.
Yes, I did.
You were very glamorous.
That's a restroom, just so you know.
Okay, well, hey, baby.
How are you?
I don't think so. Are you
Yeah, you too.
I'm trying to come to the coach.
All right, you guys, we're gonna get started.
I'd love to see you there. Yeah.
5:30.
First of all,
Put that in the video.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and get started with our keynote. I don't know if everybody is aware of who our keynote speaker is, but if you don't know, you about to fucking find out, okay? This is one of my mentors. We were talking about mentorship and like who you look up to in this world, and Sarah, you were definitely one of mine. So please welcome with a round of applause, Sarah Tyree. So, Sarah, you are the chapter secretary for the NAACP, correct?
I will.
Okay, I know you will.
I will. So I'm the state conference president, which means that I oversee all of the branches that Arizona has. And I think that we just added our 21st branch, which is the college unit in Casa Grande.
yes.
Somewhere out there.
Central.
Yeah, in Pinal, Central Arizona
Yes.
College. Yeah.
Somewhere out there, yes. So we have 9 adult units and the rest are unit college, which is high school and college.
Lots of young people.
Lots of young people, yes.
Maybe tell us a little bit about what the NAACP does in Arizona.
Yeah, so the NAACP is one of the longest standing Black organizations in the nation. This year we hit our 117th year. And historically, right, this organization has been for the support of the advancement of colored people. But more recently, we've moved into a space of advocating for people in all marginalized communities. And then even more recently than that, in the latest bylaws that we put out, we have specifically put in there committees for the LGBTQ+ community. Yes. And you know, that's huge, especially for the Black community. So when we're thinking about Arizona, it has changed a little bit, I would say, within the last 2 years. Mostly because the state leadership now is younger. The president before me, I believe is like in their late 70s. So there's like a 30-year gap between myself and them. I'm also the first female president we've had. Yes. And so we've moved into a space of revitalization. We feel like somebody kind of mentioned gatekeeping earlier without saying gatekeeping, but we feel like that's what happens. And so now we're in a space of like, how do we upgrade our systems? How do we move forward with sharing information? How do we get back into politics? How do we get back into being a power mover, right? So Arizona NAACP is a space for all people, but we are centered on our Blackness.
Right? Okay, yeah, I feel that. And maybe we can talk about a little bit what the state of play is in Arizona and in Phoenix as a whole, particularly for youth, for like young people as they're entering the workforce, they're going into, you know, trying to make money for themselves. Like,
Sure.
what type of things will they experience?
So I think for us, what we're seeing at a higher level when we talk about like civic engagement, Arizona takes, I believe we were told 70% of federal funding. And so that's where most of our funding comes from, you know, for education, for healthcare, for all of these different things. And so when the current administration took over, we lost a lot of the funding that, you know, we had. And that means that people are losing their healthcare, they're losing their jobs, they're losing their housing. You know, the subsidies that people used to get are not there anymore.
Yeah.
Or they've been drastically cut back, right? And so now people are fighting for what little resources we have. So when we're thinking about young people, I feel like our young people are kind of set up for failure to begin with because our public education system is, by Arizona Constitution, supposed to be paid for by the legislature.
Okay.
And the legislature does not pay for public
The
education.
federal government does. Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to. They're supposed to, right? Like, they're supposed to give money to the state, and the state is supposed to fund public education, and that thing is not happening. And I want to add to that, we were also informed earlier this year that if Arizona wanted to continue to have public education funding, that we would have to agree to have more ICE agents in Arizona.
Wow.
So dirty politics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mm.
And that's not, artists are not excluded from that whole situation. Like they say starving artists. Nowadays, I think about like the fact that SNAP was literally cut last year. Healthcare is going down, and queer people are being attacked every day. So like, there's so many problems that we face. But Arizona is also a beautiful place. Talk about your experience and like how you came to be in Arizona, or like how you came to be here.
So I'm an Arizona native.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Where were you born at? Like,
Actually, here I was born here in Levine when it was still farmland. I know. I might be aging myself. It was still farmlands back then. And then I moved around a little bit and went to Maryville. I moved into Maryville, so I'm a West Sider. I am, yeah. I left when I was 17 for the military. Swore I would never come back. This is my third time back. So obviously I had work to do here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we love you for it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, I just want to talk about a little bit of how I met you and like how we came to be in connection. BLM.
Yep.
Black Lives Matter 2020.
Yeah.
Protests were happening all over Arizona. Phoenix Pride going on protests where I got the chance to speak and like walk with the protest. And there's Sarah Tyree.
In my tutu, probably.
Yes, you literally were in the tutu. That's so funny you mentioned. And we just connected. We just said, you're just like, hey, what's up? I think you heard me speaking. You're just like talking to me about it, and I was like, this person has something. At the time, you were running for office, no?
Yeah, I was.
And we talked a little bit about getting you into the Black Artists Festival and like having you like table there. And from that point, you've just been kind of a mentor for me. Girl, let's not get emotional. You've definitely been there in moments where I needed you. And I think that's what a mentor is. Like somebody you can call, somebody you can text.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on with this? Hey, like, do you have a connect? Hey, do you,
Yeah.
And you've been that for me. And so I want to talk about mentorship a little bit. Like, did you have a mentor growing up?
I didn't. So I didn't really have like somebody who was consistent in my life. I think I had moments.
Right.
Right? Back in the day, I feel like, people didn't call CPS. The streets just took care of you. Like, the neighbors took care of you. You know your mom's not gonna cook you dinner, but you can go over to the next door neighbor's house and they got a plate for you already. So I feel like there were people in my life who were there for moments that allowed me to be here today. And now today, I feel like I have mentors in my friends. Like, it's my bestie. Yes. And she is like, listen, she pulls things out of thin air. She pulls things out of thin air like nobody's business. And I feel like I want to be like her. And my niece, who's sitting right next to her, has like 5 businesses, and she just turned 17.
Oh, yeah. Round of applause for that right there.
Yes.
Business.
Yes.
So important.
So I feel like I take mentorship from like the people that I have around me in my circle now.
I think that's true because I do the same thing. Like people who are around me, I'm most inspired by them, especially the Black people. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on. Why do you think young people should seek out mentors? Like why? Why should they do it?
I feel like it's important for young people to have mentorship, not because they're lacking, but because they deserve support too, right? Somebody you mentioned it earlier, like there should be levels of mentorship, right? Like the generations, bridging the gap.
Yes.
We should be able to reach down and pull somebody along with us, be able to give back that $500 that was given to us one day. Because when you said that, the whole
That
group was
hit
like,
me.
and yes, you know. And so I think it's so important for young people to find somebody within their community, or even like, you know, like you said, we locked eyes at a protest one day and was like, we need to know each other, right? And not be afraid to go and speak to those people.
Don't be afraid to talk to people who you think are your contemporaries, but maybe not. You know, like somebody that you look up to. Don't be afraid to talk to those guys. Because, like, if I was afraid to talk to you, or vice versa, we would have never had this moment.
For sure.
So beautiful. And then, you know, I do a nonprofit, backupme.org. I understand that like building in your community and doing it for free is important, and being there for the public. But why did you choose public service? I feel like you have so many avenues you could have gone. Like, why do stuff for the community?
I think it really started with how I was brought up. I grew up in a really abusive household and ended up in foster care when I was like 15. And the social worker that I had, she really just didn't care about my life or like my safety or any of the things. So when I left the military, I felt like there was no other path for me other than being a social worker.
Right.
So, you know, congratulations to you.
Thanks. So shout out to the social workers.
And so, you know, a lot of things happen. I've worked with kids who were incarcerated, kids who had incarcerated parents. I've worked birth to 5. I've worked in public affairs, like doing politics, like all over the place. And then I ended up in a marriage that was really abusive. I lost my housing because of it. I lost my job because of it. And I was homeless and had Stockholm syndrome and all these different things. And I felt like, in me and my privilege, first, I'm light skinned, so like we can just start there. Second, I'm a veteran. Third, I have free healthcare. Fourth, I'm a social worker. My literal job is to navigate the system. And I couldn't do it for myself, and I couldn't get the help that I needed. So what was it like for people who had less than I did? And that's what got me, one, into the NAACP, and two, to run for office when you and I met.
And I knew you were perfect for this because, like, that's what a mentor does, right? Like, they leverage their power, their resources, and their story to bring people up with them. And I feel like that's what you've done for me. So thank you. I'll always be grateful. I mean, so what place, if any, do young people have in the public service sector? Like, why should somebody who's in this room today go and work for the NAACP?
They have every space. Like, young people are our future. Like, they're gonna be the ones who govern, guide, and lead us, you know, in the near future. So why would we not create spaces for them to grow? For us to be able to water them and nurture them into the leaders that we so desperately need today. So desperately. So if anybody's interested in joining the NAACP, or if anybody's interested in potentially running for office or being on some of these campaigns, like, let's have all the conversations.
Yes, please.
Let's have them all.
Please, because we need leaders right now more than ever. Like, actually, let's dive into that. Like, leadership. Is it hard? Leadership. Should I do it?
The answer is yes. 2 more questions. Is it hard, and should you do it? Yes. I feel like we have conversations like once a quarter, like, girl, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do it. I want to walk away. And she's like, no, you need to stay. Look at her. She's like, yes.
I feel like in the room right now, I feel like I'm looking at a lot of leaders, right? Like, there's leaders in the industries here today. So, like, what do you do in that moment? Like, when you're like, I'm about to fucking cuss everybody all on this Zoom call. How do you ground yourself in that moment? Like,
I want to say, when you and I met, I was much more, I had more fights.
Okay.
I had more.
You were ready.
I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready. But I've learned, as I've grown, to be more diplomatic in the way that I handle things. And so sometimes I just call my vice president and let him handle it. You know, I think it depends on the situation. But when I'm overwhelmed, I'm not even gonna lie. I will sit down and I'll put some anime on and I will just giggle my little heart out. Like, let me calm down first and then I can deal with it.
Yeah. Don't forget your joy, you guys. Because like we're dealing with a lot of shit, and we're in these. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in these white ass spaces trying to deal with this shit. So like,
We all
don't
are.
forget your joy. Yes, it's America. It's America. So yeah, don't forget your joy. Queer joy and black joy is important as fuck. Anime. What else brings you joy? What else brings you joy, Mama?
Traveling
Oh,
brings me
you
a
were
lot of
just in
joy.
Columbia?
I was just
Okay,
in Columbia. I got back
okay,
at midnight.
Oh my god. Thank you for being here, first of all.
Yeah.
You made it. Traveling. What else brings you joy?
Being in my safe space brings me joy. Being with my niece and my nephew. My nephew's off doing some adult things right now, apparently, but for those who know, but yeah, like they're my family now, so like I like being with them.
I love that. And family definitely grounds me every single fucking time. I have family on my board. Sean, shout out to Sean. We cousins and shit. I think surround yourself with people you trust, you guys. Don't forget that, like, on a board or in your network, you need people you trust. Family is one if you trust them.
Sometimes.
Okay, not all kinfolk, you know. But also, get a lawyer. Get make sure you have professionals.
Have me on the lawyer.
Have professionals on your team. I'm just saying. I think it's so important to have like those kind of people in your orbit. But I want to talk about community.
Community.
This is where we'll end. Community in Phoenix, I feel, is a very special thing. How have you experienced community in Phoenix, in Arizona? Has it helped you? Has it hindered you? Like, where do you see the community going in the future? You know?
I think it's important to note first that Arizona is the 48th state.
Right.
We've only been around for 100 years, literally, right? And so when you're thinking about
NAACP has been around longer.
correct, correct,
That's really
correct. So when you're thinking about like the culture, right? The culture that our community has, or the art culture, or music, or fashion, or whatever it is, we don't have the same culture that southern states have and northern states have, because they've been around for hundreds of years longer than we have. And so it's hard because we so desperately need those spaces. But as it was mentioned earlier, like we have to create them. Even in the NAACP, there are positions within our committees, environmental justice, for instance.
Okay.
Who's talking about it?
A
Who's
lot of
doing
people,
it?
yeah.
Right? And so, like, a lot of these spaces just have to be created. And there's not. I think there are blueprints, but because Arizona is so different than other states, sometimes it's hard. We're very red, and also it's a transplant state.
Yeah.
It's so rare to find people who are from Arizona being here.
Yeah, and staying here.
And staying here. And so what does it look like? I feel like it looks like we're going to continue to grow. I think I saw an article a couple weeks ago about the black population. It went from 5% to 6%. So
I think Jade was talking about it a little bit.
we're growing.
8% is my
We're growing, and I'm sure that there are more, but I think the issue is people don't fill out the census.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's another issue. But when we talk about like what does it look like, it looks beautiful. It's not going to be without our hardships, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be without us talking shit about each other, or it's not going to be like, oh, this person wronged me, so now I don't, you know, all of those things. Like, that's just what humans do. But also, at some point, we have to put down all of the white people pitchforks and, like, just come together and say, like, this is a community that we want to build for us, by us.
Yes.
And
I think about Tulsa, Oklahoma. I think about the things that we've created in the past and, like, things we still have to create, you know, like, and that's what that idea is all about, like, creating a space specifically for black people. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of art spaces,
yeah,
but there's not a lot other than Black River Life and FIP.org.
Yes.
That specifically talk about Black people. So thank you for your work. Thank you for coming today because like we gotta talk and we gotta have these type of conversations.
We do. And I want to say too before we close, there are spaces that are for us already, and it's so important for us to connect with those spaces instead of just recreating new ones.
Yeah.
Like why can't we come together and have like a multi-event, a multi-layered event, right?
Yeah.
Rather than I'm gonna do this over here, I'm gonna do this over here.
Very true.
Not that individuality isn't important, but some of these spaces already exist and have the following, the space, the financial structure, all of these things. We should just be coming together
Yeah.
as a community.
I'd agree. I mean, we've had this conversation before where some people don't like to come to the table with institutions or things that have been around for a while, but I think you have to have a say in the environment that you're organizing in. Like, if the environment is not working, you gotta be at the table to fix it, you know? So, it's just it's frustrating sometimes, you know? Like, but alas, we grow anyway. What do you think Phoenix will look like in 5 years?
I don't know, I'm not gonna be here. I don't know. I think we're just gonna continue to grow. This will always be my home. I think we're gonna continue to grow and people will continue to come to Arizona. Fortunately and unfortunately, we are a business first state. And so people are gonna continue to come here for a better life from wherever it is that they came from. So hopefully, as a community, we continue to come together as we continue to grow.
Sarah, I love you so much, girl. Like, If you have more questions, follow them online. I think it's Miracle, or no,
So if you go to the state, it's aznaacp.org, and all of the branches and their websites are on our page. So you don't have to go search for each individual one. You can just go to our website, put in your zip code, and it'll tell you where you're at.
And please tap in with their youth programs.
Go
she's right here. Talk to Miss Fallon. She has the answers. Like, we want you guys to be involved and come to the table, right?
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you so much.
Yay, thank you for having me.
You guys, we're gonna do a little bit of a networking session. Well, actually, I'm gonna give you guys an option. Do you want to network, or do you want to have a little bit of a showcase? Because I know some people who have brought instruments here today, and we could have a little bit of a.
Can we do it at the same time?
At the same time? Yes. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. The last 15 minutes, last 15 to 30 minutes, whatever, you know. We're gonna do a little bit of a networking session. Where? Sean?
No.
Ryan?
Brian. Also shout out to Brian.
Yes! Thank you so much to Black River Life, they provided the space and all the beautiful art that you see around you.
And I'm sure he's not gonna ask, but he's welcoming tips. You got tips? He will take them. Yes.
Please do.
Look at that.
Okay. Support Black River Life.
Yes.
They're one of the few Black venues that are still doing it big, and we were blessed to find them.
Yes.
So, you guys, we're gonna do a networking session, but if you want to showcase something,
Jam
out, come talk to me, okay? All right. Oh, Jesus.
You did it.
You did it.
You did it.
The way that we drift, we